everybody, welcome to another episode of Shaking the Damn Table.
Woo.
We made it 9 episodes, episode 9, you know, we in the building. Good energy. Alright, so alright, I'm your host David, you know, and I'm joined with my 2 co-hosts, Memri and Amyna.
How y'all doing?
And a special shout out to my boy, my homie was able to pull up on us, my boy Brandon. You know, you might know him as Low Key Lee.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But tell the people about yourself.
Like you said, I'm Brandon. I'm a materials engineer, graduated from UAB. Working now at this place called Pennsylvania Heat Treating full time. Just actually living.
Rex.
Yeah. For real, like, I didn't want to say it, but Rex.
Yeah, man, dope to have you on the show, man. So
Appreciate it, man.
you know, we're gonna have a really good topic today. The topic's gonna be black on black crime and the legacy of Nipsey Hussle, and we're gonna get to that. But the first thing we're going with is what's the move for the week?
Alright, so the first move we have is a show called Black Enough that's going to be at Theater Downtown on April 13th. And the tickets are $12. So this show is after a successful preview and workshop of the show off Broadway. Black Enough is bringing the flourish to Birmingham on April 13th. From the mind of poet and educator Jamal Hill, this one-man show is a time-bending reimagining of the world around us. He's taking us on an exciting journey through song, dance, poetry, and humor, and talking about topics of childhood, race, gender, and more. So he was like off Broadway, and he's, I think, from Birmingham originally, so he's coming down and doing his show here. So everybody go check that out.
Oops.
And also there's going to be a Know Your Rights sit down hosted by Angelik Sims and her husband Victor M. Sims, and that's going to be at the Homewood Public Library on April 20th. So it's going to be at 2 to 3 in room 101. It's a free event. Donations are welcomed and refreshments will be served.
Hey,
Right.
come on, refreshments.
Come on, food department.
And
Well,
it's $3.99.
Pull up, definitely. That we definitely got some dope moves to go to this week. Always try to find, you know, black events if you can, you know, like stuff like
Education
that.
too.
Yeah.
Inform yourself.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely. So let's get it rolling into the black business of the week.
That's me. So for this week, I told David I took a page out of his book. Pun. Thank you.
Drummer?
And have a book this week. It's called A Slice of Pie, and it's written by one of my friends. Her name is Keiani Taylor. You
Shout
may
out
know her from
Keiani.
UAB.
Yeah.
Yes,
So cute.
it's such a cute little book. It's written by her and illustrated by Julian Lyle. She wrote this last year, I want to say, and I just ordered it. Like, support your friends, like when they're doing great things, support it. And she just wrote this really cute note in here, and I'm sure she put in all the books, I'm just gonna read it. It says, Memri, thanks so much for your support, love. Keep shining, queen. Just so sweet. Beautiful girl, inside and out.
And it's the funny thing about that being pie, it actually leads into another featured business we have this week, and it's let's see what we have on the table right now.
Oh yeah. So luckily, I finally won something in life. And
More wins.
I didn't want to pour it.
Chef Tay, he makes desserts and drinks and stuff like that. He had a contest on Facebook just saying, like, if you could guess whatever the dessert is, he would deliver it. So he came through and delivered this red velvet cheesecake.
Wow.
So we get to try it.
Surprise,
Look at
surprise.
this texture here.
Right,
Look at
it's
this.
so
Chef Tay can whip it up. I mean, like,
This, I've
You know his
already
IG?
been
I do not.
Oh.
eating this.
But I can put it down there later.
definitely. Definitely.
I mean, wow. Like,
But you
I've
can
been
find him on
eating
Facebook. Chef Tay. Yeah, I'll put that up there as well.
Goes like, you with your hands.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Wow.
And
Okay,
it's
so
like little cheesecake bites, like.
gosh. Yeah, because I worked with Tay at Grill 29 when he was there, and yeah, like he used to make the desserts for the restaurant, and all the customers was always like it was busting. So like,
Okay.
and he do drinks too.
Yeah, he does like those long pictures or whatever of drinks, and then like Jello shots, and then gummy worms and bears and stuff.
It's fine.
So hit him up. That's really good. Black businesses. Good thing this isn't the health episode.
Oh yeah, I know. Still be healthy though. We have a 15K runner in the building, so
Hey,
you
Yes, like
know what I'm saying? Miles on miles on miles.
Boy, that's crazy.
man, what? I be like, looking at that, I'm like,
Marathon
man, let me get out here and
routine.
run. Like, I gotta run.
You can't get-
Then I'll be like, yeah, no.
I can't
Live
get
a
one.
lie like that.
I can't get 1 mile.
Right.
Alright, boy, no excuse, but that's dope. Yeah, this cheesecake is amazing, so support him definitely. But we're gonna roll right into the episode. No, we're not gonna roll episode. Run that back, Turbo. We're gonna do the trivia. That is what we're going to do today. And yeah, let's start that
Yeah.
up.
I got it for y'all this week. I mean, it's really good. I think y'all are gonna learn a lot. I think I got the cards out of order.
As long as I get the answers right.
But I think the questions are very timely this week.
Okay.
Well, one is, but they're gonna be good. Let's see. We're gonna see who's gonna win this week. Okay.
Hopefully.
First question. What singer, songwriter, actor, and song producer reportedly turned down a deal with Reebok because of lack of diversity? Is it A, LMA? Is it B, Rihanna? Is it C, Lady Gaga? Is it D, Beyonce? Queen Bee herself.
Ready.
Yeah.
We got our answers. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Yes, exactly. It was D, Beyonce Knowles.
Yes.
Okay.
Reportedly turned down a deal with Reebok because she said there was a lack of diversity. Shout out Queen Bee.
Right.
How?
All right. Question number 2. What is the name of the newly elected mayor of Chicago? She is the first black openly gay woman to be the mayor of Chicago. Is it A, Tina Marie? Is it B, Lori Lightfoot? Is it C, Michelle Obama? Is it D, Nancy Jefferson?
Okay.
Name of the
Solid
newly
names.
elected mayor of Chicago. First
Haven't been
black.
watching the news lately.
Wherever. Get on Twitter.
Oh, wait, no, because I tweeted.
Twitter's the CNN for me.
Yes. First black openly gay mayor. Don't be back there giving out no answers.
I got it.
Daisy back here with her mouth covered.
Well, it's not Michelle Obama.
Or is
Or is it?
Okay, I gotta guess.
Okay. All right. We'll count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3.
Gosh, it's stuck.
Yes. It was B. Lori Lightfoot. Yes.
What was that again?
Lori Lightfoot, the first black openly gay woman to be
like she
elected
made
mayor of
that name
Chicago.
up. Okay.
That's what I said on Twitter. I was like, sounds like something from Harry Potter. That's fine,
Right? It's called Land Before Time.
Nancy Jefferson was just made up.
I'm weak,
okay.
boy.
Let's keep rolling. Come on.
Oh, Littlefoot. Okay, number 3. Who is the first black woman to win an Academy Award for the Best Actress? Is it A, Halle Berry? Is it B, Viola Davis? Is it C, Taraji P. Henson? Is it D, Regina King?
Quality names in there, boy.
Yeah,
Man.
all of those are real
Yeah.
names.
I'm gonna take a limb of faith.
Academy Award for Best Actress, first black woman.
Faith.
Believe the only black woman so far.
Believable.
Halle Berry, Viola Davis, Taraji P. Henson, and Regina King.
Cool.
Y'all ready?
I think so.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. And it is A, Halle Berry. Yes, Miss Halle Berry was the first black woman to win an Academy Award for Best Actress. And I want to say she's the only one so far. So, yes.
Yeah, I went with Viola, but
Well, it's not Viola. So
man,
who won? I wouldn't even take him. I wouldn't even.
Okay.
I got them all right.
Me too. Well,
the guess by default, the guess shit too by default.
There you go. Wonderful.
He said ram roll. So I pull up.
Y'all thought this was your show.
Come on.
Running to sleep. Okay, bet. Now that we got our mind stimulated, we can jump to this topic. I named this episode "The Marathon Continues," and that's you know, after Nipsey Hussle and his brand and that stuff he has going on. But I'm gonna start at the top. I feel like a good place to start with this topic is just like black on black crime, and just like the real question is I'm curious about is like, why do we show hate towards our own? Like, where do you think that stems from? What do you think is still enabling that today? Like, that's really what I'm just curious about. Like, what y'all's opinion on that?
Media.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think that circulates it a lot now, to where we kind of just still believe in certain things, like whether it's colorism or something like that. Like, we still believe in lighter being better, or I think that just media does stimulate a lot of our thought processes as a whole.
And the colorism thought makes me go back to like slavery, you know, and the lies that were placed into our heads, you know, turning us perhaps against each other and making us believe things that weren't necessarily true. And I mean, oppression is genetic. That goes back down through generations, and I feel like it's part of that, and I agree. I think it's part of the media, and I think it's kind of us. Like, we have to be cognizant to think like, this is my brother, I will help him. This is my sister, I will help her, I will love her, I will respect her, no matter what she looks like, no matter how she dresses, no matter what he does, no matter how much money you have. You are still a person who does. You're still a person who deserves to be loved. You know, and I think that's not really preached a lot in our households. You know, we value certain things over a person, and that, I mean, that gets us in trouble.
Right.
And I think, like, to piggyback off of you, one thing Kendrick said on the album, on his song Dedication on there, he said, like, for generations we've been dealt bad hands, bad plans, or whatever, and so it's like those generational curses. Like, we're constantly fighting against those as black people.
Yeah, and like Nipsey Hussle and the legacy he was like stood for, it's like fighting against this whole thing that we were born into. Basically, a lot of this stuff, like, we didn't really ask for it. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's why picking off of memory, like going back to slavery and planted seeds and stuff like that, like, when it comes to like perspective in the world, like, you're gonna believe something until something presents otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. In the beginning, it was human. It was just human beings. Then, you know, it got. I always say division is what I feel is one of the worst things that, you know, happens to like human beings for real, because like division between, first, you know, black people were divided from, you know, white people, and then they divided us amongst ourselves, and then that, like you said, over time that can manifest into hate for each other, which we can see leads to violence. You know what I'm saying? So it's all connected, but it's just like, how do you win? How do you like overcome that kind of?
I mean, it's
cycle.
Like, with Nipsey, he understood accountability. So like, you have responsibility. We're not necessarily responsible for the situation that we're in, like the oppression that we face and everything that we have to deal with as black people, but we are accountable for our future. So I mean, he kept that in mind from a young age, you know, had that hustler mentality to get what he needed to do done in order for his own success. You know? That's very true.
That's very true. I've been watching his interviews all week, listening to him all week, reading a lot of his quotes. Like, he literally, it was just one of those people that just like, you know, they get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, his mindset, like, on everything. He had one, he said, I'm about seeing long-term, seeing a vision, understanding nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. It's like, he always knew there was a bigger picture,
right,
and he saw over the horizon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I know he wasn't just an average man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why his death has a lot of us like really feeling like hurt. Like, I was talking to like, John Oz, I was talking to him about it, saying like his death like hurts me more than Mac. And and when I started listening to Mac Miller, we were most of us were the same age. He was 18, I was 18.
Right.
When he died, he was 26. I was 26 or 25. You know what I'm saying? So we were around the same age, so like that was super sad, and like I hated it. But like this one, I feel a deeper connection. But I didn't listen to Nipsey like that.
Yeah.
Which is weird for me. Like
It's just
I'm
his
like,
influence though. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, how can you connect to someone really and literally in like a week? Resonate with them more deeply than like, you know, Mac. I grew up on Mac.
Right.
And that's like that blows my mind. That's how I know this is like a special person. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, he lived his life, you know, for impact basically. So I mean, even though he's gone now, look what he's done and like set in place to keep going forward in the future.
Yep. Yeah, he was definitely like trying to like pass the baton and make sure he was setting us up to carry it. Honestly,
Right.
Because like that's why this leads into my next thing. It was like it's like I was watching the Breakfast Club, which I watch all the time, and they were talking about Nipsey, and they were playing a game called, it was like keeping it real versus playing it safe. So when it comes to, you can apply it to yourself, but like put yourself in like that situation, what you would do. But when it comes to Nipsey, you know keeping it real was like being vocal in his community and actually being there present more than not. You know, he was always in Crenshaw area. He was always there. He made sure he was the person they saw like on a day-to-day basis for the most part. He was out there, you know, he had security, but he didn't always use it. You know, he was comfortable. He actually trusted his hood. So like that's keeping it real. That is like, and then you know also being physically there inspires the young people, and then you know the older people too from being from there. Like he's just so open with us. So that it has its benefits for keeping it real versus playing it safe. You know, the people that artists that don't always go back to their hometown for real, but they do every now and then. But they still pour into them. They still support them and, you know, fund them and do all that kind of thing, but they know that it's not the best situation for them to be there, so they play it safe. It's like which one is more? Do y'all think is like more beneficial, and like what would you do in a situation like if you had like a hood that you grew up in and you knew was toxic? It could potentially be toxic to you, but what he was fighting for was so much bigger than that. That he, you know what I'm saying? His passion was bigger than his fears and his doubts, which is really honestly how it's all supposed to be. With like that's how you know it's God, but. Which one? I kind of wish he played it safe, you know. But which one do you feel is more influential to do in that situation?
I think we should all have the mindset of improving our community, whatever that community is, whether that be through money or service, you know, however that is. I just think we all have a responsibility, and I think that responsibility is even more extreme for blacks at times, because sometimes, you know, no one else is trying to help us out, so we got to help our own selves out. And then now we have all this gentrification going on, and you know, people coming in and buying up our hoods. But if we had the money, I would say we buy our own hoods, you know, and it's a problem. It's a problem. I think it's our responsibility to go back in and do what you can. Do what you can, even if you don't live there anymore. Do what you can. Do something. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's true. So you feel like it was better for him to, because I feel like I don't know if he lived there. I think he might have lived there too. But you feel it's like better to be more present in the hood or not? Like play it safe?
I don't know if I'm saying presence necessarily, but I mean, you can look at people like JayZ and Beyonce. They still do, like Beyonce still does things for Texas. You know, she doesn't live in Texas, but she still helps efforts that are going on there, you know. So I feel like however you help, whether that be being there and being a representative and saying, hey, I'm here, I'm doing it, you see me doing it, this is what I'm doing, or being on the sidelines and writing that check, you know, or swiping that card and saying, I'm giving $50,000 to help this. You know, I feel like whatever that is for you, you should do that. So I guess I'm saying, do what you want.
Balance?
Yeah, balance.
Balance, cool. Whatever that is, you know, but do something. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's tough to say because, I mean, I think for like in Nipsey's case, he grew up and lived that life, that gang life and everything. I mean, so to him, that's just natural, his natural environment. That's probably where he felt like he thrived most.
Exactly.
And then some people have the mentality that, okay, I do have to escape this, let me get out or whatever. And so, I mean, in my opinion, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for yourself. And put yourself in the best situations. I mean, you can always help from afar. Like you established that Vector 90 or whatever. You know, you can put things in place, but not necessarily physically be there. You know.
Yeah, you could have bounced it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, a part of me want to be like, keep it real, because, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, when it comes to our community or whatever, all we have is us. And if we don't see it in people or whatever who may be, like, in a different tier than us, and we don't actually, like, see people on a regular, like, helping out and stuff like that, then it'll kind of just seem like two different worlds. And that's why people in the ghetto feel like they're so far apart from success, in a sense. But also, like, be smart, because, like, you can't just be out.
Yeah.
You just can't, like, you have a target on your head automatically just from having money in a place like that.
Right.
Because some hoods are literally like jungles, where it's like literally you come on the turf, like, at that point you are a target, like, because you're not from here, or because you are from here and we don't fuck with you, or whatever the case may be. So it's definitely, I mean, with his past, I think that also puts into a factor why I feel like he should have played it more safe or whatever. But I have to respect him for keeping it real.
True. Yeah, it's like you kind of wish he would have played safe in some moments, but like you said, he's bridging the gap. He's showing those people that I made it and I'm still right here. I'm doing the same thing you're doing right now. Like, it's better for the perspective of some people, because, like, some people need a physical. I mean, everybody likes physical assurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always nice when you can get it, because it's something you can tangible, something you can see. So I definitely believe the importance of both, but he was definitely trusting. Like, and then the sad thing about it, I feel like he really felt like safe. Like, I feel like he did feel safe at the time.
But I mean, like, when it's your home, whatever, like, that'd be like, you ran them streets and everything, so, like, you literally were, like, out there all the time, whatever. You do kind of feel safe in those kind of, like, environments.
And it's like you should feel safe. It's your home. That is the whole
but
point.
Safe like that, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't even know if it's necessarily safe. He just, I think he accepted the risk of what might happen.
That's more. Yeah, that's why.
In a way, the risk was always there.
Exactly.
Maybe it was increased at that time, but it was in a way always there.
Yeah, and he rapped about, like, going back to his old music. Like, he was saying, like, growing up in this and seeing people get shot and die, like, and I'm still here. He's like, clearly it's for a reason, you know. So he believed, like, you know, like, he was overcoming it all, and, like, you know what I'm saying, like, he wasn't fazed by that, because
he had a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So he was like, God's taking care of me. So, and he was right. You know, he was definitely right about that. It's just, I know, like, the most important, like, vocal point is, like, that we want to echo is, like, just keep his legacy alive, and, like, what he stood for, like, his vision. Like, his vision was, you know, ownership and investing in yourself, investing back in the community, owning your own. I mean, his record label was called No Money In, or All Money In, No Money Out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he applied to his music. He applied the marathon, like, concept, like, life is a marathon, not a sprint. You know what I'm saying? He applied the whole concept. Like, his first album was 33 years old last year, when or 32. He would have been 32. He was 32 when he had dropped the album last year. And it took all that time, the marathon, to get to a point of releasing an album, but he took it in stride, because he knew that's what life is. Like, I just need people to get this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, this is not a regular human being that just passed. I know some people were like, the people that didn't really know who he was, and, like, you know, get it online. You can also see the evils that are the ugly side, where people be like, who's Nipsey Hussle? If you don't know him, like, you don't have to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do your research. Do your goodness.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You're clearly, like, clickbait type stuff. So, you know, that's my main thing I want to echo. Like, I just feel like what do you think are good ways we can, like, just hammer home, like, you know, we gotta keep his energy, because he said in his lyrics, he said, like, when, you know, if I die, like, don't cry for me, ride for me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how do we as black people keep that energy going? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a process.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of just the sense of us actually putting in the word community.
Right.
It's like, I saw, like, they were talking about JayZ and, like, stuff he's done for people and stuff like that or whatever, and, like, times of needs, and how he, like, donated money or whatever to Nipsey's kids and stuff. Yeah, so it's just, like, being able to, I mean, we don't all have JayZ money, of course, like, we can't just do that, but, like, doing the things that we can do for people, like, when we know, like, stuff like that is happening or whatever, and just offering ourselves up as a community, regardless of if we, like, really fuck with each other or not. like just because, like you were saying earlier, like you're a person, like you're my brother regardless of what you look like or whatever, and just being able to have like a community for one another. So
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's like actually picking each other up, and you know, actually like you can, like a lot of people be like, this is my community, but you're not really connected to your community or anything. It's just like you just mean community as a sense, this is where I live kind of thing. But you have to, as far as like, you know, us as a, you know, as black people, like we really gotta be intentional, put in effort to try to support. We have to actually make those efforts in the black community within each other to uplift each other, because we put up a lot of our resources out, you know, in other areas that, you know, but like this, he was saying like, y'all need to start honing that stuff in and start building, because he has another quote. I'm just been filled with quotes today.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's just been in my mind like all day. He said like if you're trying to build a brick wall, he was like, don't worry about building the brick wall. Like lay one brick every day, and just one day you have a brick wall. Yeah. That's another like marathon mindset. Like it's a process getting to a result. Don't rush yourself. Don't feel like, and it's just trusting God's timing. That's really like a lot of. That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I feel like he has a lot of Christian values as well that you wouldn't necessarily, like people wouldn't necessarily see, because they have this like LA West Coast persona. So they would, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, I didn't even see it really as this deeply, but like it just shows like there's some genuine people in this world, you know, like, and we have to support each other, like just like he said.
And that's using your platform for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's so much bigger than music.
I agree. I feel like, just piggybacking off what you were saying about support, like support can be anything. Like
it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary.
It does not have to be monetary. It could be anything, you know. Like buying Keiani's book, like, you know, I forgot the chef's name who made this wonderful cake. Like doing this cake, like it can be anything. And I feel like I even when I go to black restaurants in my community and leave a tip, I'm like, I mean anything. Like you don't, like she said, you don't have $15 million like JayZ. You got 5, you got 10. You know, so I feel like it's all about doing
word of mouth. Like,
word of mouth. Like
a share.
You know, you know, one of your friends needs somebody to take pictures, and you know somebody who takes pictures. You know, put them on. It's so simple. And I feel like even with the rushing, we're all in a rush. It can feel like we're all in a competition, like we're all trying to get over there, but someone has to be first, and it's going to be me, it's not going to be you. I'm going to get there first, and when I get there, you'll see how great I am. And it's just like we just have to take a step back from that. You know, we just have to say, well, how about we all help ourselves get to wherever that is for us? And I feel like a lot of the rush and the competition, you know, can come kind of from social media and just comparing yourself is so, oh my God, it's the worst thing you can do. My therapist told me, comparing yourself is the worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing you can do. So, you know, you just got to, like Nipsey said, run your own race, build your bricks, you know, in your time, in God's time. So, you know, that's how you got
just slam it home. No, that is definitely right. And, you know, like another quote I have from him, most important thing is to get rid of doubt. If you have doubt in what you're doing, it's not going to work. That's always, it's just like, period. And, you know, he definitely had, he talked about his hurdles and all that stuff, but he always kept the goal. You know what I'm saying? He was saying, once you start looking away from the path, that's when stuff gets shaky. But he was like, keep the path straight. And I don't know. I really do think he was a prophet. I really don't know. He was just that influence.
We have, you know, people, angels out here.
Yeah, that's true.
For real. So like,
it's like, did we just like almost get to witness one? Like it's.
Well, I mean, we did.
Well, yeah, we didn't even.
It's like, I mean, I know it sucks that he's gone and everything physically, but like I said earlier, like he left a legacy behind for us to carry on. So yes, we mourn him and everything, but like we're saying, we have to get up on our horse and, you know, keep this mission going, right?
Keep running the race, yeah, definitely. Like that, and honestly, that's how you ensure someone never dies. The same thing as MLK, Malcolm X. Same as everybody who's made all these efforts for us and for the world in general. You know, if you keep their ideas alive, then they're never dead. Never dead. Like that's just period. And
And that's what we're always gonna have to do, like you said,
Yeah.
when it comes to them. Like, it's always gonna be somebody, like, even with Beyonce, JayZ, there's gonna have to be somebody who's gonna be like, well, I'll be that person
Right.
whenever somebody is in trouble and give out my millions or whatever. Like, it's
Yeah.
always gonna be somebody who's gonna have to, like, fill in for where people left a big print, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like filling in roles, you know, like there's that void, but we can fill that in by just carrying out that values where we are, you know what I'm saying? Like miles away, you know what I'm saying? And like another quote. This last one he said, and it's possible to monetize your art without compromising your integrity of it for commerce. Which also just shows again the root of why the music he did, the clothing like he does, like the story he has, like it's all based on like a pure, genuine I want to help people principle. And like that tiny like he wasn't the richest person in the world, but his impact is like more than people who have 10 times his resources. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like should be a wake up call like everybody, like your money should always be used to be helping somebody.
Right.
Your resources are used to help somebody because they're not our own. They're provided through God. And he was like, it's a vessel. Like God's paying me, and I'm paying the people. Like
Exactly.
this is the
You can't
mindset.
take it anywhere,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. It stays here when you go. So like,
Right.
why would you want to ever? I mean, I know people struggle with it, but like, why would you ever want to feel like it's permanent? Like they can go.
Because I mean, like I was saying about this earlier, like I feel like a lot of times we live for the now, and it's like we have to. I mean, as believers, we have to live for the eternal. You know.
Yep.
And I'm losing my train of thought now, but
No, I got you.
I was like, no.
Yeah, you gotta live above the sun. 'Cause
Yeah.
everything down here is one day gonna go. So if you're not using it for the right reason,
Right.
he made sure that money was never his motive or whatever, the fame, all that stuff. He knew that was like, you know, he just knew. You can't teach that stuff. Like he just knew, and he was self-made. Like, you know, he said like self-made. I created myself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his definition of self-made. Because I was saying like a lot of people's definition of self-made is like, oh, I did this, I got all this, I'm self-made. That's the wash version. But he was saying like, what I mean by self-made is I created myself.
Right.
Like, and so I didn't adapt to the world adapted to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that is, bro, he did so many gems.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody just like, you can just go on YouTube, Google, just like listen to any video that he has out.
Yeah.
I promise
His
you. Like,
perspectives are so dope.
it's crazy. Like, and going back and listening to his music now, I'm trying to catch up and just like listen to it. And it's kind of weird listening to someone after the fact.
Yeah.
Because the lyrics are real. It was like
Yeah.
you know, he would say something about it, like dodging an enemy or death or something like that. And, you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like that perspective is like it made it more powerful though. That's the thing. And like of course all the streams go to his family. You know, Lauren and everybody. So you know, make sure you play it every day you can. You know what I'm saying? Like all that money because he owned everything. Like he I feel like he was really had a vision and he really like set himself up to leave a legacy and to like take care of himself and his brand.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think his brand's gonna die. Like it's the marathon thing. That thing's gonna thrive even more now because it was already thriving.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, like he understood accountability and took his own success into his own hands, and so part of that was just like not being afraid to seek help. You know, I feel like sometimes we can, I guess, get overwhelmed or, you know, turn away from trying to seek help because we're in whatever position we're in. But if we don't reach out sometimes, you know, I mean, we're never going to get anywhere past where we are. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when he was establishing the Vector 90 with the STEM program and everything like that, he was connecting with Don Peebles or whatever, and, you know, he didn't really know this guy. He said, I think he said he was like at a basketball game or something like that, and you know he was just sitting by this dude, whatever, and then they start having a couple of drinks. You know, you can get drunk, start talking and everything, and so I mean Don Peebles, if you look him up, he's like a real estate entrepreneur, like whatever, you know, big time.
Yeah.
Like one of the top 10 wealthiest African American people in the country, and so it's just like little things like that. So I mean. In order to progress, you have to be constantly searching for that way out. You know, you got to be hungry.
That's true. Humble, hungry.
Nipsey was in his early 30s when he passed.
33 years.
Jesus was in his early 30s when he was crucified as well. Just saying. A lot of what your quotes are biblical. Like they're it's literally just a metaphor.
Yep.
A different way to say a lot of things that are in the Bible. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
He was a man of Islam. I mean, I don't know. He, like I said, he's very Christ-like. I don't like conspiracies, but
I'm not
he's
a
just very
conspiracy
Christ-like.
person
We just need to like just emulate him. That's all. That's all I'll say. Because it was pure. I don't know. Like he was like, he was flawed just like all of us, but the way he ended was the way, you always want to end better than you started. Like, and he did that. So isn't that what life is all about?
Yeah. You can't let what's happened to you in the past and everything define you. Like I said, you gotta take your own success into your own hands and do what you can to help others along the way.
Exactly.
Be blessed to be a blessing to others.
Yeah.
Boom. Exactly. The number one reason God blesses you is to bless people.
Yep.
That should be your first thing to do. Anytime you get any money in your hand, bless someone first, then use it for what you need to. Like that's like how it should be. That's how you bless yourself. And like I said, he was a prince. He had so many principles that we, I encourage. We all emulate, and I definitely feel like we got some good discussion out of his legacy, and we just definitely want to stamp home that continuing it is the key, and the tone for the for us and how we're gonna develop and prosper in the future. So we have to continue striving to break this system that was meant to silence us, because we came a long way. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it going. It's a marathon. The race isn't over. I feel like we halfway getting towards that ending part. But we are definitely persevering from where we came. It's progress.
Definitely.
And I was just for all races. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was never supposed to be division like this. So I want everybody to prosper like that. But we black, so you know what I'm saying. Just what I'm saying. Specifically, just pick each other up and uplift yourself too, educate yourself, all that. Make sure y'all listen to some Nipsey.
Hey.
I will. The more I hear, I will admit, I didn't really listen to a lot of him before he passed.
I mean, neither.
And honestly, not too long before he passed, I had just found out who he was, not too long. So I'm like, as soon as I knew him, he's gone.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew him.
You gotta appreciate what you got, so it's gone. I mean, but like I said, it's cultures and stuff. Sometimes I like West Coast, but it wasn't always something that was my top thing I listened to. So it was definitely easy for me not to pay attention to that as much as Southern stuff. Obviously, 'cause I'm born here. So, but now I'm just trying to be open minded more about musically and musically and everything. So it's just you got one life. You gotta experience the most you can, learn the most you can, try the new things. You know what I'm saying? And try to create those opportunities for other people as well.
Right.
So. That's all I think. That's literally. That's it's just like we just showed. This topic can go on and on. It's just so much raw, good perspective that we could go on. But I definitely think we covered it well. So we're gonna go to the today actually the candlelight and balloon release vigil at Kelly Ingram Park. It's today, Sunday. So obviously when this airs, it won't. But
Do you know what time?
It starts at 4 p.m. and I think the release is at 5. Yes, so that's what we're gonna pull up there, support them after this, and just make everybody continue striving in life, be the best person you can be. See you guys next week.
Away from their everyday life. You don't know what some of these kids are coming home or coming to school from. The situations they deal with at home. We've got our issues in our communities, and it's time for us to step up.
When I get on the plane, I felt in my soul, Nipsey, we're gonna be painting Nipsey. I was like, Nipsey? Okay, I guess I can paint Nipsey, So I get
children out of these goddamn schools and teach your own children. They separating them from their mothers, and our fathers are already locked up or drugged up or cannot even think straight because we've been so oppressed.
The last thing I'm going to say is we must love each other and we must protect each other. A hater came into the Marathon store, left, got a gun, and came back and shot Nipsey. Now, I don't know if somebody sent the hater or not, but what I do know is my brother is gone. What I do know is that envy and jealousy kills us from the inside. And our worst enemy in the black community is us being envious of each other.